Back to game number 3 of the Corsair Summer Gaming Tournament. It is VP up against NEXT.kz. We're here in Group A of Day 1. We've got one more day of Group A action. Then we're gonna have our 2 teams who advance the playoffs. Right now, VP and NEXT.kz though, they're just fighting for survival. In the upper bracket of this group, we have got IC Cup as well as rox.kis. They're the 2 winners from today, but VP and NEXT.kz, one of these 2 teams will be knocked out tomorrow. The other will advance to play tomorrow and fight for their survival and their advancement into the playoffs. But guys, Scott's here from Going Summer. Joining me is LD. We're game 3. It's been a long day, LD, but we're still holding up okay.
Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a long night for you, and well, I've seen the sun set and rise again, and here we are, and it's our last match of the evening, and it's possible that VP could be eliminated on day 1 of this event. Which, if you had told me that before today started, I would have said there is no way. But here we are.
They beat Alliance, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, and well, things have taken a quick turn.
How is that possible? How can you beat Alliance one day and almost get knocked out by NEXT.kz and IC Cup? Not to take anything away from these teams, but come on. The Alliance went to G1 League. They came, they saw, they conquered.
It's all about the throws.
Yeah, they do have that standard, and as much as it's not even that Medved is playing particularly poorly. I actually think he's done decently from the games that we've cast, but it just throws off your rhythm. Maybe you draft differently. Maybe you're not as confident to go in. You have to communicate more instead of just knowing how the other player is going to play. All these little things could definitely add up, and here we are.
I like this game 3 draft of VPs though. They got a fast Darksea pick. They pick up the Naga Siren, which has some nice synergy. You can set up the wall, the ult, and with a vacuum inside the Naga Siren sleep, and it also works nicely against Lifestealer having a Naga Siren. And then VP, one of the teams who love to use disruptors as well. I say they love to use them. It's not like they're picking him every game, but they're one of the few teams who will quite often pull him out as a 4th or 5th pick in that support role.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was doing the player cards is that they do pick quite a bit of disruptor. I believe it's ars-art who's been playing it.
Okay.
Is it ars-art or actually, you know, it might be the who's their other support player?
I think their other support player who handles it, but
yeah, whose name is escaping me because I haven't slept. I'm actually gonna look that up now because shame on me for not knowing it immediately. It is NS. Jesus Christ, how did I not remember NS? Why is he not here? Of all players to be missing, my goodness.
Yeah, it's weird. Like these famous players, like you'll see a team they're missing their main player, and like a team like VP, it's like who is actually missing? And this is normally their drafter as well, which ars-art's been doing some of the drafting. This game it's actually Illidan doing drafting, but they're missing their captain. So you talk about the stand-in factor. When the stand-in's your captain missing, well, that can influence your results.
He got benched, and you know, guys, kidding of course, but you know, guys, I actually kind of like what NEXT.kz's done here with their draft. They get Lifestealer. That's obviously a good way to start a draft. But they also just get a lot of self-sufficient heroes. Gyrocopter, Puck, Lifestealer. Gyro needs a little bit of help, but even he's a tricky one to get too aggressive on. You've got to be very careful about when and how you do it. You want creep support. You don't want to dive too far. They've got team fight, but they've also got some gank potential. They have a vehicle for the Lifestealer. VP has this very potent potential for a huge team fight, but NEXT.kz have lots of pickoff and some great team fight of their own, and a very hard to kill carry in the Lifestealer, which always makes you happy.
Yeah, I think a big thing that teams are realizing is picking these hard to kill core heroes is a very important thing, which is where you're seeing a lot of the Puck, the Queen of Pains, and for carry heroes, Gyrocopter's not fallen off completely, but he's no longer always the go-to carry. We're seeing Lifesteal, of course. He's risen. He's risen, and even with the recent nerfs, he's not really seeing a whole lot less play. He's still being picked up very high priority. VP round things off with an Earthshaker pick, so interesting. I mean, obviously a strong support in his own right, and a hero who can sit far away from the lifesteal as long as he doesn't get jumped on by someone like a puck lifestealer bomb. If he can sit back and not get caught, this will be a nice counter initiator.
You know, this almost reminds me of how Zenith drafts sometimes, where they just get this idea in their head, like, we want to do a super 5-man lineup, and then there was a game they played in the Beyond the Summit World Tour last year before the International too, and granted those were online games with a lot of pain, so I'm sure they were just experimenting, clowning around, but they picked a similar lineup. It was like Naga, Darkseer, Disruptor, I think a Tidehunter instead of an Earthshaker, and then some other carry, but it seems somewhat reminiscent. A very, dare I say it, it's a gimmicky almost 5-man lineup. Like, strong lanes, you can see how they could get ahead, but if it goes late enough, VP should really be in trouble, because NEXT.kz have amazing heroes in the gyro to just clear out the Naga illusions. They have a potent semi-carry in the lifestealer, 2 natural hex carriers in the puck and the Windrunner. The only thing is maybe their lineup's a bit greedy, because now they have to run a support Windrunner, it looks like.
Yeah, not the support gyrocopter. Mantis has picked that up, so it's a support Windrunner. Yeah, this is... I guess you can go offensive trialing with this, with a Windrunner and Leshrac as your 2 range supports, but it's ill-advised against an Earthshaker, and Naga Siren's actually packs a punch. If you can get that Riptide off, then a lot of physical damage comes out with that minus armor. And Darkseer's going to win most 1v1 matchups, so I imagine we see both teams go with the standard safe lane tri-lane, unless one of the teams wants to do something out of the ordinary. And, well, I like VP's draft a bit better here. Just they just really have all areas covered. They've got the nice dual core with the Weaver as well as the Naga Siren. They have Darkseer to round off their team fights. They have got that super team fight, but they also have the ability to take scrappy fights because of the Weaver, and Earthshaker does pretty nicely there as well.
Well, you talked a lot about VP's lineup. I'll introduce their players. KSI, your off-laner, your 3-position. He'll be playing one of his signatures, the Darkseer. Tame My Wilder Crazy. He normally plays the mid role for this team. Is it a mid Naga Siren? Something we've seen occasionally. I've seen it a lot in pubs, but not personally haven't casted too much in pro games yet. It's not that common in the Eastern scene. Well, it looks like it anyway. Jotum, the stand-in, that is a sick mount for his Disruptor, the Disraptor, if you will. I know Draskell's a big fan of that name. Illidan, your Weaver, will be heading to the safe lane. And last but not least, we've got Mr. ars-art. Who's your daddy on the Earthshaker?
Disruptor never struck me as a hero who would wear an eye patch. I'm not sure if I'm digging the eye patch.
Yeah, I like the mount, though. This is a cool-looking bird.
It's a cool mount. Over on the Radiant side...
Not as cool as Elgato, though, which, by the way, is in the Dota 2 store now.
There's people out there who've already started getting views on him. That last game was the first viewable game for your Elgato courier. Some of you remember. I think you can maybe go back and watch replays that we cast. I'm not sure how it works. I know, like, with TI3 qualifiers, you could watch replays. Sure, there's probably some people who just went and spammed the replays and already have like 20 views, but we'll introduce NEXT.kz. How about that? We've got Reeves playing the Leshrac, Mantis, or Manta, playing the Gyrocopter. We then have the Windrunner being played by really nice. We've got the solo mid player, which is going to be... I can actually read his name. He's evading me.
It's
what a fucker. Playing the puck. It's not that I didn't want to read it. I was having some weird resolution issues. Then finally, Lifestealer being played by Stalcat.
So they are running a 3-position offlane Lifestealer, and they're doing it against a Weaver in the safe lane, which basically means Lifestealer has to jungle. Actually, they're going to rotate really nice here instead.
Yeah, this is good because you don't need the supports bottom, and you only need one hero pulling, which will be the Leshrac. Windrunner will probably not get anything on top, but if the lane ever does push out, this was meant to be a support Windrunner, and a would-be support getting any experience and farm at top would be great.
I like Naga mid just because Riptide got a huge buff. It's 10-second cooldown at all level. It was a nerf and it got reverted. I think after the International 2 is when Naga got the big nerf stick. Her base damage is still lower than it used to be. I want to say it was like a 12 or even... it was a huge base damage nerf she got, but Riptide, very spammable nuke, strong in the lane, and I don't know that Naga necessarily beats Puck normally, but when you start with a poor man shield, Puck is hard-pressed to harass you out of the lane.
Puck's like a little Bijou. Does not hit particularly hard. Did get a couple small buffs to base damage in some of the recent patch. Not the most recent patch, but I think the patch before, but...
Yeah, I think it was 6 damage.
Naga Siren actually here got a nerf to base damage, but just having Riptide, and we'll probably see a fast bottle. Once the bottle's there, well, there's more than enough spam ability with the Riptide to get some decent farm.
And nice denies by Whatafaka. He did start with the Gold Talisman. He was pulled as well. So both players got pulled. The Naga's starting to take a bit of harassment, but once the bottles come out, they can both look to push the lane.
Shaker.
What has he done? Oh, he's doing the ancient pulls.
He missed 2 of them. 2 of them started walking back to the lane. He only got half of it. He almost got the full way. But either way, this will get this creep wave back towards his tower. Earthshaker is going to be like the offlane hero.
Well, he can... The nice thing with Earthshaker offlane... Oh no. I've done it. I've missed first blood. I've gone full Toby.
Today, though, at least, hopefully.
One of my few missed first bloods. I've definitely missed quite a few kills today, but haven't missed many first bloods.
First blood miss.
Yeah. I've gone full Toby, guys.
I missed
There's no going back.
I'm on a touchpad, but that's still no excuse.
Sorry about that, guys. It has been a long day. I won't make any more excuses, though, because that's loser talk. We'll just see if I can improve from here. Stallcat has picked up Gloves of Haste. Jungle Lifestealer going for a Midas. What do you think about the overall trades between these two teams? Is anyone having a clear advantage to you right now?
I think it's slight advantage to VP just because of how Dax is, in theory, the better and faster jungler, although he's not much ahead of the Lifestealer, but he will be soon with this big stack of his. So Lifestealer is sort of I think he gets a lot more out of the fast early farm because he can get a fast mech for his team. Outside actually stunned up near the Ancient. So he's actually going to go down. Outside should be dead.
Edict, Rocket Barrage. That is probably the strongest 1-2 punch of just pure single target damage if it's not hitting anything else, and it wasn't there. Easy kill.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and something we've seen NEXT.kz in both the last 2 games as well as their previous series. They like to go for these fast towers. One of the series that they lost to rox.kis, they got 2 very fast towers in their safe lane at the cost of rox.kis getting 2 super fast Midases on Nature's Prophet and Lifesteal, but they'll quite happily take these fast towers if they can, but VP seem to be somewhat ready for that. They have got Earthshaker once again at bottom lane.
Yeah, Earthshaker back at the bottom lane has hit level 3. It's not really the creeps at the Ancients, because he's only managed to kill one of the small rock columns. It's the fact that, like you said, it pulls the lane back. Mid lane, confident positioning from Tame My Wild. Has a haste rune bottled up, not going to be killable, and is probably going to get the 4-minute rune. He's going to beat NEXT.kz to the invis. He'll even get to use all his bottle charges here.
Yeah.
Very efficient play.
Cheeky. He gets there, uses all his bolt, picks up the invis rune. This is going to hurt Puck a lot. Puck can bottle Crow, of course, but it's Naga Siren who can also use these runes to inflict quite a bit of damage on the Puck if he wants to.
They're going in on ars-art, but he was able to spot out the gank and rotate off. He doesn't have wards, so it's just purely map sense for him that's keeping him safe when it does.
Oh, nice fissure under the tower. Mantis does have plenty of HP regen. He'll just pop a salve here, but it does inflict quite a bit of damage. At the tier 1 tower, it's now gone. Another Edict will come out, and this will be a fast tier 1 tower.
There is no glyph available, so it is going to fall. Edict available. It'll be popped from the tree line. Perfect positioning from Reeves. And Mantis even gets the last hit. Good start for NEXT.kz in that lane. Still, we should take a look at the gold graph, the experience graph, since it's been a passive game. How are the trades? 1,000 gold lead for the Radiant. That's just your tower. Experience 500 to the Dire. Still even, but Darkseer is kicking in a bit. He's got his headdress. He can work towards potentially that very fast mag. It looks like that is the case. Whatafaka goes in mid. He's got Coil. Cannot find a kill just yet on Tame My Wild.
Yeah, I think the one thing with this fast T1 tower push, as well as just fast safe lane tower push in general, sometimes it's actually not a good thing. It pushes out the lane, it gives the offlaner, or even a hero like one of the supports like the Earthshaker, some experience and farm to get in that bottom lane, so it's not always a good thing to push these fast towers in your safe lane. If it's in the offlane or if it's in mid lane, it's a different story, but in the safe lane, sometimes it doesn't help. So NEXT.kz need to use this early gold to sort of some effect here. They need to get aggressive, they need to take more fights. They will have what looks to be a very fast Midas. Actually, no, it's not a Midas coming out on the Lifestealer. It's going to be, looks to be a fast phase boost.
Interesting. Started with the Gloves of Haze. It does help you jungle.
Yeah.
Top lane, though, they're diving really, really nice. And he gets glimpsed back. This looks to be trouble. Fisher is there. ars-art journeyed all the way from bottom for this. And the pings come out. He's probably saying, where the hell was that hero? No MIA called, I suppose. But off the map for a very long time.
Yeah, ars-art's just, that's one of the great things about Earthshaker. You just want to spend as much time in fog as possible. And then even the 1v1 mid heroes, like Puck's probably thinking, if I go on this guy, is there going to be a fissure catching me from fog? The fissure from fog is just such long range, it can be almost anywhere on the map at any time. It's one of the true powers of an Earthshaker, just being hidden on the map. All 3 lanes have to be careful then.
Yeah, especially in this version. As you mentioned, the buff just makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's only 100 units, but it feels like exactly the amount he was missing before. In Dota 1, it felt a lot longer, but in Dota 2, well, it's been
I
rectified.
agree. I remember when I was playing with Natural 9, they used to flame my Earthshaker so much. When I was playing Dota 2, they're like, man, you have to learn Earthshaker. Like, that was when Dota 2 first came out in the limited pool, and I kept telling them the fissure was shorter, and they wouldn't believe me.
You play the Earthshaker. See how it is. Look at these
It was
tools I have to
ridiculous.
work with.
I'm like, look, guys, my Earthshaker sucks. We have 2 support players. How about the other support player plays him, which was Snoopy? And Snoopy's like, dude, I can't play Earthshaker. I'm a Hun player. I'm just like, come on.
There's Earthshaker and Han. That's no excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Bullshit. That's what I say. Shackle and Tame My Wild. Power shot is there. Can he get off the song? He can. And rage ends, and he'll get away. Fissure, Fry ars-art turns it around. Great positioning from him yet again. This guy's just got a knack. It feels like ars-art just knows where to be,
Radiant's top
generally in the
tower is
right
under
place
attack.
at the right time. The mark of a good
Radiant
support player.
structures are
This
fortified.
is got, like, inbuilt map hack into his brain as far as being in the right lane, never really getting caught out all too much. He's had a great game so far. Puck needs to be careful mid lane. Use a lot of mana here. Nagasarn gets him for the Riptide.
Dire's
Phase shift is
bottom
not going to
tower
save the
is
puck.
under
Drops a
attack.
dream troll, but what a fucker. One more right click. Ensnare is there.
Strange.
What a fucker goes down at mid lane.
Oh, and that's got to be infuriating. There was a haster in top. It was almost enough. Meanwhile, your Windrunner caught top lane. Will go down as well. Well, the bodies continue to hit the deck. This is turning quickly into... It only 5 kills. We had a game that was 2 kills per minute earlier in this series. Or I guess it was the last one, but this one actually feels very action-packed. 5 kills, 8 minutes in, but it feels like a lot more.
Yeah, it really does. There's another ding goes off. Lifesteal, it's fast phase boots. He does have the gloves there, but having the gloves there is just... I mean, he was using, obviously, to help farm fast from the jungle, and he can turn that into his armlet later on.
And for the time being, it looks like VP are just content to slowly try and work down this tower top lane. Mid lane, the Naga Illusion's deployed. Reeves is rotated here to try to get a bit of experience. I think a big thing is ars-art can now farm this bottom lane, whereas you look at really, really nice. He actually hasn't lost his tower yet, and surprisingly he's level 5. I thought he would have struggled a bit more against the Weaver Disruptor dual lane, but with the Earthshaker off the lane, I suppose that's why. What a fucking no coil, but chipping away at Tame My Wild mid, looking to go in. Won't actually find an opening, and they'll back off.
Yeah, and considering Windrunner was initially meant to be a support hero, this is pretty good for your offlane, having the level 5. No real item progression, but just the levels alone is being really nice. I haven't seen much from Illidan, of course. He is the safe laning farmer. He has managed to get a kill here and there from the Windrunner, but not a hero you expect to move around the map. And once we get some more levels, some more farm, we'll probably even see a TP picked up from the Weaver just to help out these other lanes if needed.
There's your Riptide mid lane. Whatafugga continues to take harassment and damage, and the top lane, it could be a dive by Illidan Stormrage. Does he really commit for this? He's got time lapse. He actually does it now. No mana for it. There you go. Just gets it off. Ooh, he had to change the intreads there. That could have been trouble if he was a split second slow, but does get away in the end. Hoping to force a TP, I imagine, but won't be successful in the end.
Next rune. If I can put him on Nagasar, I'm going to get a regen here near the top lane. Fission not going to block off Reeves. I think Nagasaren's maybe thinking it was a block, but no.
And this is where something you mentioned earlier really comes into play. We're 10 minutes in, Darkseer's just picked up a mech. And what has your Lifestealer done for you lately if you're NEXT.kz? It doesn't feel like much. They're diving top again. Really, really nice. Windrun available. He's waiting. He pops it right as the net connects. Shackle gonna latch on Illidan, but they need a lot of follow-up to bring him down. It doesn't look like it's there. Remember, there is a mech. He pops it. The song comes out. They don't have a net for this Lifestealer, though, and he'll continue to chip away. Wall deployed. Oh, man. Here we go. No coil. It's already been used. Reeves is going to fall into Jiffy. Now Lifestealer forced to fight his way out. Call down is there. Cleans up the illusions. Onto Whatafugga. Finds one. Orbs away. Thinks about going back in on KSI, and while that's happening, it's been a Disruptor ultimate. Tame My Wild on the run. Jada Medved on the run as well. And can NEXT.kz find this additional layer of kills? It looks like they came a little bit short. The big thing was ars-art was not there in that fight. If he was there, I think VP could have found quite a few.
Yeah, they needed us. Great Puck play there. Weaver with an Iron Shield did a ton of damage, but Puck managed to clean him up with some nice burst damage, and also maxing out the Waning Rift, I think, caught Weaver a bit by surprise there, because he was playing way too aggressive. Got burst down, and once he was dead and killed off by the Puck, the fight, that was most of VP's sort of damage and kiting taken out of the fight, and then NEXT.kz could chase somewhat unafraid.
I also think it's because Weaver, Illidan Illidan actually had gold for his ultimate orb, but hadn't bought it before that fight. I think that HP, and especially if he had strength traits, would have kept him alive long enough to get off time lapse and survive. But didn't in the end. But he's got the ultimate orb now.
Still farming as well for Mantis. He's actually sacking off Ancients here as well using a neutral creep, which is being spotted by VP, but VP don't have any way of contesting this as far as killing it themselves. They can maybe look to gank Gyrocopter when he goes to clear it off, but that's about it for them.
Yeah, speaking of Mantis, he's gone early helm of the Dominator, like you mentioned, stacking Ancients, and that could allow them to pull ahead in terms of gold. And if this goes late enough, I do think NEXT.kz have the much better late game with Gyrocopter and Lifestealer and 2 natural Hex carries and a Windrunner and a Puck. If this goes late, VP are going to be very hard pressed. Like if we look to 35-40 minutes, they'd better have complete map control or close to it, or it's so hard to break the base of NEXT.kz into Coil, into Flak, into Calldown, and into Shackle Shot. If even a few of those spells connect, it could spell their doom. And with enough items, well, NEXT.kz can just right-click them to death.
Yeah, that's what we see VP looking to sort of tank up as much as possible. Illidan straight for the Lincolns, even picks up the ultimate orb nice and early for that extra HP. Once again, he's going on this Windrunner. Fissure is there as the Windrun goes off. This is going to be a dead Windrun, nothing to shackle to it.
Meanwhile,
he's actually coming in.
ars-art trapped next to the Darkseer wall. He goes in for an Echo Slam, but he can't get it off because he was silenced by your Puck. Now KSI maybe trying to turn this around. Stallcat driven back. It looks like he will be able to escape, and it's Wonderfucker being chased by Illidan. Illidan needs to clean this one up because the Leshrac just took down Medved. There's no swarm for 6 seconds, but orbing onto the hill is Wonderfucker. That's where he needed to go, canceling his animations, narrowly dodging Riptides left, right, and center. Are we going to see a mirror image? There's one on the high ground now, but there's no Riptide to follow him. Now he orbs to the left. He gets back to the tower. Great jukes by him. Now Stallcat netted up and trying to fight his way out with Rage. It's only a level 2 net. It's not really that long. Manta's coming in. He's a vehicle for a Lifestealer payload, and a rocket gives chase. There's your song. Perfectly timed. Needed to get it off then. He needs to TP out as well. He's waiting. He's waiting. Maybe not. They'll let this Lifestealer bomb come out. Where's that Lifestealer? He pops out now, but has very low HP, and Illidan might be able to kill him off. He will. Illidan starting to steamroll in this fight. Ion Shell diving really, really nice. Dropping him down, picking him up. Shackle won't latch. He's going to fall as well. The Ion Shell should give him the damage necessary. Double kill for him. 3 hit the deck. Mantis does survive, but his Ancients have been spotted out now. And next time around, VP are probably coming for those too.
Yeah, VP don't, as mentioned, don't have the best lineup for actually killing them off, but they'll be keeping a very close eye, not allowing Gyrocopter to ever get time or space to kill him off. But great fight and chasing coming out from VP. Windrunner, I thought that Shackle Shot at the end was going to either latch to a tree or to the Darkseer or something, but didn't catch to either of them. And from there, it went very, very downhill to him. And VP, just their chasing ability with Viva and Darkseer is really scary.
It's interesting to me that Stallcat has actually gone for a Rage Max this game. Medved tries to TP out, and I think he's going to escape here. Well played, well played. But yeah, level 1 open wounds in the mid game. I can understand getting a few points in Rage and not fully maxing open wounds, but you need more than one. That spell is just pretty crap at level 1 in this version.
Yeah, it seems. I guess he got the extra point in Feast for the jungler. Maybe,
yeah, you need
like
more
you
than
say,
one, but I don't think
like
you need
you
max
say,
Rage.
get 1 less point in Rage or something, and even just having 2 points in Rage early on. He can't really offer a whole lot. He actually, because he tried to TP and help out earlier in the top lane, and I was like, oh, we'll sort of, not bashing, but just commenting on how Lifestealer can't do much to get involved, and he tried to, but I didn't realize he only had the level 1 open wounds, and that really limits him right now.
Yeah, I did.
With the small range.
I didn't either until just now. I clicked on it, I wondered why could he not get in range of that Disruptor, and there's your answer. In come the Naga Illusions created by the Mirror Image. They're going to scout things out, and they're going to drive NEXT.kz off this tower mid. Shackle to fly. Lincolns is there to block it. And they do find the tower actually will be a deny. Nicely done by NEXT.kz, but the chase is on and the fight is on. Stallcat's run in a bit too far. The swarm going through his rage, and he will drop in a hurry, but Mantis drops a huge call down. Catches 2. Lots of damage being done. Now he still has to fight his way out against the other 3. KSI low, not dead yet. Surges out, and he will end up escaping. Mantis going in. Going ham. Jodam forced to run away. The kinetic field buying him time to retreat. But what a fuck against Chase. Silence. Orb to fly. potentially has 5 seconds to go. The Split Earth not going to latch. He will barely
He
escape.
evaded one of those right clicks, which saved his life.
Oh, ars-art up the high ground he goes. He doesn't have mana for the killing blow. No enchant totem. He must be so friggin' mad right now. A power shot, a retaliatory raged one comes out.
He's got no, like you say, no mana. He can't actually TP out of this. Pugmeal can chase him down.
What a great glimpse, and they're going to find 2 off of this. Reeves trap, and then, of course, on the back lines is Gyro. Running the other way. He wants to take a tower down with him. He's dropping low, and Illidan's Storm Rage is going to bring him down. One more auto attack to rule them all. It will connect, and they'll find the kill. But that was your Gyro BKB. He bought it just before dying.
Smart by the Gyrocopter, gets his items up, and, well, Chase is still actually on a mid lane. Puck needs to be careful here. Okay,
Yeah.
not going to get chased down by the Naga. And phase shift can be
Dire's
used, of
top
course,
tower
to
is
dodge
under
that
attack.
ensnare, and as a result, TMW could not get him off, chase him down. And VP was a decent fight after they got those 2 pickoffs in the end, but Puck is just doing some serious work there. I mean, you mentioned that huge Gyrocopter cooldown, but it was set up by the Puck waning rift. There was Darkseid unable to pop his mech earlier. He popped the mech after the 2 heroes were initially dead, after Weaver was already taken out of the fight, and after the Naga Siren was dead. There was just such an initial burst damage from the Puck combined with the Gyrocopter that NEXT.kz suddenly came up with a great team fight.
You know, guys, we just haven't seen the full potential of VP's lineup. Vacuum into a kinetic field, or into where the kinetic field is placed, I should say, a fissure, an echo, the disruptor ultimate, wall from Darkseer, all of that stuff, and the swarm on top of it. It just hasn't come together for them. I feel if it did, they could really crush these fights, but now it gets harder because now kinetic field and the disruptor silence are not nearly as effective. If Lifestealer still, he's got to get off rage, but generally you can do it in most cases. And Gyro's got a BKB. He won't be affected by it. Oh, they'll find really, really nice here. This could be trouble. We'll look for a surround, but shackled to his own illusion. 2 of them killed off, and the chase is on. But what the fuck is waiting on the sidelines? He might even jump in. This could be big. Blink, silence, the mech to bring them back, and now, really, really nice. Finally brought down. They do find a pick off. The Windrunner bites the dust again.
Yeah, VP just find these useful little pickoffs wherever they can, and this is really hurting NEXT.kz. NEXT.kz, they have a bit, they're just a bit too underfarmed. They don't have items like mech on their side either, and Lifestealer, no armlet at 19-20 minutes. He was in the jungle, somewhat untouched. He needs to have a bit more farm soon. There's a lot relying right now entirely. It's basically all on the Puck and the Gyrocopter to win the fights. Windrunner can maybe offer a shackle shot with some power shot damage. Same for Leshrac, a nuke hero there, but all in all, the actual reliable damage and survivability is coming from Puck and Gyro.
Oh, they're going in on this Puck, and he could be in a lot of trouble. They glimpse him back. The Swarm giving them the vision to do so. Great synergy between these 2 heroes. They find the kill, and now they can look to push. Or maybe not.
Maybe take Roshan. Actually, they're drawing lines towards the enemy jungle here, and there's no wards up for NEXT.kz. This kind of thing. I know they're going to the Roshan pit.
So Illidan is going Desolator Rush. It's something you never would do in Dota 1. It did not work with his passive, Geminate Attack. I believe it actually disabled the passive, the double proc, but now it works perfectly. You get the debuff on the first auto attack, and you can still get the second one, albeit without the debuff. Yeah. It's a great little pickup for him.
It's like the go-to item build almost. We saw it a lot earlier today. Fear sort of was the first one to start it with EG when he played Weaver, and Desolator is one of, if not the most cost-efficient damage item in the game for carry heroes, for a single target, that is.
And I feel they're really going to need it, because against a hero like Lifestealer, you want minus armor, because you're going to have to rely on physical damage to kill him during rage. And now Illidan has enough for his second Ritual Hammer. He is close. The recipe is very cheap on Desolator. It's been buffed repeatedly. It used to be 1,200. I believe now it's 900. Very affordable. Illidan charges in. He eats an orb to the face. Now the glimpse. Well, they brought him back in. It's trapped in the kinetic field. Trouble again for really, really nice. Who's really, really dead. And they jump in even further.
They're not done. They're going to maybe finish off the Puck here as well. Puck does not have an orb, does not have a blink right now with the damage being taken, and they get 2 kills out of this.
VP, just too many pickoffs perhaps. NEXT.kz, they do have a Gyro. They do a fantastic turtle lineup. Turtling potential with Dream Coil, with the Blink Silence, with the Windrunner Shackle Shot, the Power Shot, the spam of the Lightning from Leshrac. Well, actually he doesn't have Lightning. Well, that's interesting. But Otherwise, they have a great turtle lineup, but they gotta get their gods. And right now, I think they're just losing a few too many fights.
Radiant structures
They're going to
are
start losing
fortified.
towers even faster when the Desolator's up. And you mentioned how it's crucial to bring down Lifesteal. Lifesteal he's not a hero with high base armor, not like a Gyrocopter or something. He's going to get really crippled by physical damage once it's up. He can be locked in place by an ensnare. He's going to be very, very squishy.
I feel they could maybe go here with the Song of the Siren. They'll pull Reeves back in. Illidan Stormrage jumping in. The Shackle Shot won't connect. The Liquid Spear at work again. Suddenly, it's 3k gold up for him, nearly 2.7 to be exact. Stallcat, a net, a very simple kill. And an NEXT.kz, dare I say it, crumbling before our very eyes.
They had this solid start, but all of a sudden, it's suddenly looking not great for them. They're giving away a lot of kills here unnecessarily, and suddenly VP. This to me is the best game they've played.
Really? ars-art's got in that blink. He's gonna blink. He's gonna echo, and he's gonna blow 2 more up. Slam, jam. Thank you, ma'am. I was just thinking, are they really going in? They just teleported both of their carries away, but with a blink dagger, it's always
Iron
possible.
Shell Earthshaker, you can clean up on. That was just an Iron Shell. Like it was all Earthshaker with an Iron Shell. There was no actual other damage from the Darkseer and the Disruptor. Just kind of watched apart from that.
And that's the power of the new Echo Slam as well. Just a little bit more potent when there's, well, there actually weren't illusions involved. Sorry, the Nugget's on the dire side. It really has been a long day, but my goodness. But still, just doing a lot of damage there. And, well, there's your Desolator up on Illidan.
Yeah, Illidan, he's going to hit hard, and he's going to really cripple some of the squishy heroes like the Leshrac. Even, like I said, the Lifestealer looks very squishy right now. The Armlet will give him a nice little boost to his HP, but he's still going to be suffering, and maybe even we start seeing towards MKB for Weaver just because of the evasion.
There's your Split Earth on Mantis, well, or rather on Illidan, but he'll jump away and he should be able to escape. He's putting a lot of pressure on these heroes and requiring quite a few to come to the fray just to deal with him.
3 more minutes on this Aegis, and I imagine during that time VP will be looking to take some tier 3 towers, or at least the tier 2 at bottom. Maybe even look for Araxi. They're in a really strong position. They've got this big lead of theirs. Disruptor, 2.5k gold. All these heroes with all the tower gold they're getting in fight summoning are getting money and farm.
Radiant's bottom tower
And they're
is
farming
under attack.
Ancients, and they're doing it very quickly. They're stealing all of that Gyrocopter gold, like you mentioned. Armlet is finally up on Stallcat, but that's a 24-minute Armlet. That is pretty pitiful farm for a Jungle Lifestealer. Didn't go for the Midas, wanted to join the fights early, but Darkseer, the one who really was able to do things in those fights, having the early mech, and now a Force Staff, a point booster, working towards his next big item, ars-art. Ultimate cooling down. He could jump in just a few seconds here. They're going to look to siege this base. Aegis, how much time is left on that exactly? Still 2 minutes or so. Plenty of time for VP to make their move.
Yeah, VP probably time that rotation. They'll have a pretty good idea here. It looks like they're actually going to send Weaver top, so he may just look for a bit of split push. He get the tier 2 tower himself. His team can even fight without him. We saw already Earthshaker just happy to go in, slam by himself, and he'll see this Gyrocopter mid and maybe even consider going on this.
Yeah, he's got a Fissure available. He's going to start with an Enchant Totem. Just biding his time and toying with the viewers, but no commitment yet. Vacuum onto the high ground will pull really, really nice into a somewhat uncomfortable position, but there's no follow-up yet.
Weaver's going to lose some heroes off, and here come the rest of the team. Actually, Homing Missile going to scout them out as well as to sort of slow down the Darkseers, head through towards top lane, and they're going to go just for a tier 2 tower here, which is okay. It's actually hard for them even to get a tier 2 tower. The AoE spam from Power Shot, Illusionary Orb, and if they really want a cooldown, is really powerful. And Puck is going to go for maybe a wraparound gank. He's got Lifestealer invested in him. If he can find a nice little opening, he needs to try and take it. Maybe on I don't even know who he goes on though. Earthshaker has Ghost Scepter. Disruptor has a 4-star, and Weaver has an Aegis. There's no real easy target for the Puck Lifestealer bomb. That's the problem here for
Radiant's top
NEXT.kz.
tower is under attack.
It's really hard, and if you jump in and Disruptor's quick, he can just send you back anyway, so
Yeah.
we'll see if he finds the right initiation, but doesn't seem like it for the time being. The Aegis is going to be reclaimed very, very soon, but VP take advantage of these last few
Radiant's
moments.
top tower
They'll
is
look to
under
push down
attack.
this tower top. Illidan's got time lapse. Is he going to pop it now? Nope, he's going to throw his Aegis away, and he only had a few seconds left regardless.
He had 30 seconds on it, so rather than risk one of those... There was a game earlier today where the Aegis literally expired a second. It was VP as well. I think it was actually Illidan on Weaver when it happened in their game against rox.kis, and He does not want a repeat of that.
Another shackle. This one also not connecting. Song of the Siren is online. They could set up that epic team fight. They'll start it with a glimpse. Really, really nice. Pulled back in, trapped in a kinetic field, but a blink, a silence. They just blew that disruptor up. Didn't get off a single spell. That could be costly. Tame My Wild pops his mirror image. He now sends his illusions, and Illidan has been left unchecked, but he'll have to run out of this cooldown. There's your song. Buying time for them to back off or to go in. Which one's it going to be? KSI, Force Staff away. Blink, Echo. There you go. Nails it on Manta. Now the Fissure follow-up and clips really, really nice in the tree line. 2 heroes hit the deck. A double teleport to safety. They will escape, but despite not having Disruptor, they still took that team fight, and that is really a sign that VP is very far ahead.
Oh yeah, ars-art, man, that he's pretty good at Dota. I'm gonna say, that was perfect timing and placement. He waited till the Naga Siren sleep as well, buying time for Darkseid to escape, and then, well, Earthshaker does what Earthshaker does best.
And now VP, they start to have their next items. Illidan up to another 4.4k. We could see probably the Heart of Tarask at this point, but really whatever he wants to go for is an option. Manta style, not the best choice if you want to take the fights, but could be nice against the Puck Silence potentially, so we'll see what he goes for.
Yeah, even saying like an MKB, because Winrun does have evasion from Winrun, it can be annoying. And just to make sure that Gyrocop doesn't go for any sort of evasion here, but all in all, VP, they're happy to probably just sit back and take maybe the tier 2 bottom, but the main thing they're going to be waiting for is the next Roshan spawn.
They'll continue to work on the creep wave mid. They're just one big push away, I feel, from taking this game 3. NEXT.kz backs against the wall. Can they find a way out of this jam? Actually, it'll be a BKB. Illidan is going for the maximum survivability build at this point. Just wants to be as hard to kill as possible in these fights. Whatafaka gets caught, though. Oh, no. There's your coil out. Jadam not able to live for the time being. He had a few stick charges and a force that doesn't pop anything. Now, the Thunderdome unleashed. But it might be a headlong retreat here. The illusions get dropped. There's no ult yet for Tame My Wild, but it's coming in 6 seconds. The swarm splashes through. They even look to go back in. Illidan feeling confident with this BKB that he can take this fight. He wants NEXT.kz to turn around on him. Then he's going to look to pop it, and that's exactly what happens. Fissure was there by ars-art. He's trapped really, really nice in. He's going to fall as well. Double kill for him. Could be a triple. Stallcat needs to TP out in haste, and there is an ult, but he's still raid, so the song can't stop it. And in the end, they do find 3.
Yeah, they find kills, and this is kills while they're more or less waiting for Roshan and just going for his tier 2 tower. So they'll take the kills, they'll maybe get this tier 2 bottom tower. Actually, no, they won't. There's no creep wave anywhere inside, so they'll just back off, keep on farming, and, well, Roshan up in about 1.5 to 2 minutes time. So VP, everything going their way.
And it's now a 14,000 gold lead for VP, a 20,000 experience lead. If you're just tuning in, this is the Corsair Gaming Summer 2013 tournament brought to you by Beyond the Summit. There's $10,000 in prizes. There is a Dota TV ticket available. It was just released. The patch came out earlier today. One of the reasons why we had a bit of a delay. We might see a skirmish top, but if you want to buy that, you can also pick up a shiny new Elgato courier with it, and you'll be able to get views for it for any game that we broadcast, be it us, myself, Gods, Lumi, Merlini, Blitz, Purge, Blaze, Vikramon, anyone who's done casting work with us, even Lysander, in the past or in the future. ars-art's gotten caught bottom lane, though. A blink, a silence. He's caught, but the mech brings him back into fighting shape. Now Whatafaka, overextended, enchanted, and brought down. Good coordination there. Now a force staff into a glimpse, into an echo. This teamwork, that's what I'm talking about. VP. Where was this VP earlier? They finally had that fire lit under their ass and everything coming together for them now.
And it's even with the standard. I mean, it took them a few games, but they're gelling well with this standard. Obviously, he's not going to be replacing NS anytime soon, but they're playing well around him and just looking like a really well-organized team all of a sudden. They go to Roshan just as it respawns. I'll take this uncontested, I can only imagine, and then with that, this game will not be long for this world.
But Mantis could have a Divine. He's got 670... this is one of those games where I think you pretty much need a Divine. There's really no debate about it.
It's game 3, this is it. Loser gets knocked out. I guess maybe with that reasoning you want to play as safe as possible, but I think he has to look at this and see how far behind they are and realize that MKB is not going to come.
He might even have to sell something to buy it is the problem, because he does need 500 gold, 450. He'll get this wave mid if Really Really Nice doesn't steal too much of his CS. And I guess can sell maybe the magic wand. Oh, it's just a little bit
Looks like
short.
it'll be okay. They'll give up the bottom tier 2 tower, and in that time, Gyrocopter will finish farming for his divine. It looks like he's doing that because he's just scrounging for any farm he can get.
Yeah, Courier's waiting. Courier's waiting. It'll be a divine. Will it be the turnaround? It's hard to say.
A good way to end our day. I'm happy with this.
Divine Gyro. It's been a long time since I've actually gotten the chance to cast one. Here we go. All the chips on the table. NEXT.kz. There is no plan B. There's either win with this divine or go home. Go big, go home. We'll find out which it is soon.
The one thing I'm jealous of, like Toby and AC, they always get to cast Divine Gyro games. Like, viewers have even started complaining about how many they are. They're like, oh, another Divine Gyro game, but we never get them. Burning went once super fast and they a really stompy game, but normally the Chinese gyros, it's like super safe item builds.
That like hardly counts. There's your fissure on Reeves, and they might look to go in now. Shackle Shot is there, not going to connect. Illidan taking quite a bit of damage. He'll wind run, or rather Sakuchi away. Still ars-art waits in the back lines. He will definitely be that hero to keep an eye on. The BKB for Gyro is still at 8 seconds. At this point, the Rapier has to have been spotted, and VP are still forcing their way onto the high ground. Shackle is there, connects on Illidan. That's your Aegis down, but they backed Mantis back in. They don't have the follow-up, and they want to kill off Illidan. Blink, there was no coil. Maybe he could have gotten a kill with that. He
tried to get the Blink silence before the Shikuchi up, but not quite fast enough. Gyrocopter Mantis has to make these flat cannon hits count, especially now with the cooldown on it. He's waiting for the next flat cannon to come, and he'll have to make those be very well timed. If you can time it with a stun on the Weaver, that's going to be a dead Weaver.
They really need to fight before this tower falls as well, and it looks like that's what they're looking for. What a fucker lurking in the trees. He does have an Infest Bomb available. Keep your eyes on Jadam. This Disruptor should not get caught. He glimpses in one, but there's your Blink. Now Gyro going to work. He's got the flat cannon. He was trying to hit a creep. Now he goes in for the heroes. Illidan's low. Illidan is going to fall. Can Tame My Wild get out of here? Fissure connects on 2. And is it going to be enough? Blink, Echo, Rapier hits the deck. Ars-art tries to grab it. He goes down. Leshrac is going to bring it back to the base. Gyrocopter dead, but Rapier still standing and on the side of NEXT.kz. Problem is, it was never picked up by an opponent, so only the Gyrocopter can use it. And, well, he does a buyback.
That's good for NEXT.kz.
He does a buyback.
Tame My Wild survives on about 50 HP there. Lifesteal was trying to man-fight him, but TMW comes out on top, and Gyrocopter, he's going to have that Rapier waiting for him on respawn. Right now, like you say, he has buyback. He doesn't want to use it if it's not necessary. He wants to start building towards what probably will be a Butterfly, I want to say. Maybe a Satanic, but I feel the evasion will be nice. I guess you just want the Satanic, because that fight was the Earthshaker Blink Echo Slam destroy.
Yeah, he just needs raw HP. Yeah. VP is, I wouldn't say they're... Honestly, I think they are just mostly magic damage. It's the Weaver who does a lot of physical, but Weaver doesn't really want to be close enough to Gyro where he's attacking him, because then he's in range of Flat Cannon, he's in range to be Blink Silence. That is the no-go zone.
I love this R-side pickup. He gets a dag on Earthshaker.
Dag on E-Blade?
I don't even think he's trolling. I think this is like legit item pickup for him, just because burst down. Gyro's only got 1400 HP. You can burst him down, win the game.
They've gone in bottom. Illidan's popped his BKB. He looks to run out now. Mantis looking for some flat cannons. That last pellet will follow him. Boy, that really hurts for a BB gun. Tame My Wild on the run. And they will, in the end, find, well, be forced back rather. The tower was denied by Leshrac.
Well, with this VP, they don't have the Aegis in. They really want to play safe. They wait for the next Roshan, but that's ages away. They'll look for a smoke gank or something, at least some sort of a pick-off here, I really feel like, especially while Gyrocopter has this Divine Rape. I mean, you don't normally want to fight into Divine Rapier Gyrocopter, but they've been sort of placing these team fights well enough that it's worked out.
And now I'm just sort of curious to see if he can farm the Satanic, because I feel like if he does, VP probably can't burst him, and then they have to just force NEXT.kz into an awkward engagement. Find a pickoff, fight them outside of the base. Don't fight them head on at the ramp. That's where it's going to be very hard to actually take the fight, but, well, he's got to get the Satanic first. Otherwise, he's still very vulnerable to the burst damage.
Yeah. I like this lifesteal again, sacking all this armor, which will help against the Weaver damage, help against the Naga Siren, and if he ever does finish an Assault Press, they'll help the Gyrocopter as far as his damage output's concerned. So, definitely something useful. You can see Roshan 5 minutes away, so VP do not want to just sit around for 5 minutes waiting for that, giving more space for NEXT.kz to get items up.
And now Mantis can start to farm a bit faster. He's only 3k gold behind this Weaver. He's hanging on. 3k gold up, and, well, 2.9k, I should say. He's getting very close to a Reaver. And it's one of those games where there's no point saving for buyback, because if you have to buy back, that means your rapiers hit the deck, and I would say like 8 to 9 times out of 10, that means it's going to the enemy team. In that case, the last fight, Leshrac was able to save it, but that is not something you want to be counting on. So, as soon as he has Reaver Gold, I expect we'll see him buy one.
I would love the double rapier even. I took a sneaky peek in chat and I see mentions of double rapier. Why the hell not?
That is so greedy against, as you pointed out, Dagon Earthshaker. I think by himself, ars-art can solo kill this gyro at the creep wave.
If he gets the jump on him without a BKB, that's a dead gyro. So
maybe they'll.
It's risky, but I think even with the Satanic that could happen. Satanic does give him a decent chunk of HP, but only maybe 300, 400-ish at most.
Meanwhile, it looks like VP have adopted a Rat Dota approach. Ironic, of course, given given their previous comments. NS isn't in this game, though, so maybe that's why. They'll chip in at mid, they'll push in at bottom. They don't really want to take a 5v5 fight, and who can blame them with that rapier afoot?
Alright, there's your Satanic recipe. Will be the Satanic. He also wisely has buyback, although if he dies and they don't recover the Divine Rapier on one of his teammates, it's all over at that point.
Illidan is just executing the split push fantastically well. He runs it, he hits the tower a few times, he immediately Sakuchis away, and NEXT.kz just cannot really punish that. Even if they blink Coil, blink Silence, he just BKBs, and then you don't have one of your most important teamfight ults in the upcoming fight. Speaking of that Weaver, he's gone MKB after his BKB. Really hard to kill, really hard to ignore. A surge from KSI, and in we go, Virtus Pro. He'll break the base. Now your fissure on Mantis, but no commitment yet. Meanwhile, Illidan bringing down this tower. We look to that Braxton. Well, he takes it. He BKBs. He runs away. And he could even just wait this out and then go back in. But they have glimpsed one back into the fray. It's going to be Whatafaka narrowly escaping the kinetic field. The Thunderdome was there, but not
even
too
the Static
effective.
Storm. That was a Disruptor Ultimate also. If he caught him, it was a dead puck, but managed to just get out of there.
Able to live, and the thing for VP is they can just wait this out. Wait for your BKB to cool down, and NEXT.kz, at some point, they just gotta go for it. Even if it's not a great fight, they'll go in now, blink, silence on Illidan, but he runs to the north, he scurries away, and then time lapses back in. Still hard to kill, and it is gonna be Satanic, just picked up by Mantis, and I really agree with this, no point in saving him for buyback whatsoever.
Not when you're carrying a Divine Rapier. They're gonna go and take my Wild. If they can bring him down, it's fantastic, but you don't want to overextend. He'll just pop that Song of the Siren in. Mantis does not want to be wasting his BKB during a Song of the Siren duration.
What a fucker.
Combine it with some Disable.
That was a great blink silence. That fissure that was coming from ars-art might have just gotten Mantis killed. But in the end, it won't be there. And NEXT.kz continue to hang on. There's your blink, your echo from ars-art. Didn't get off the fissure because it was cooling down from the previous engagement. This looks actually pretty awful. Mantis turning it around. Oh no. Song is late. They've lost 2. Buyback from ars-art, but what can he really do? And now
Rexes are taking a fall, but can he get the illusions? Yes, they'll stun the illusions just in time.
And Mantis, well, he is clearing off this wave. The Rax is low. They did lose their puck on the backside to the Disruptor while this was happening. Immediate buyback from that puck. At what point do they just start going for it? We'll have to wait and see. Illidan runs away and then goes back in. He wants to kill off this life, so he can't quite do it. In comes Mantis. They need a little bit more chase. Coil's cooling down. 10 seconds before it does. And at long last, it's ars-art. He's been the savior of this team so much, and he will find the Rax while that's happening. Well, Whatafaka does find a kill. Now Puck phase shifting. Trying to get out. Not going to be successful. The Rax is down. This is not a 1-Rax game to me, though. I would even say it's a 3-Rax game. They've gotten the bottom melee in range. They just got the melee mid. So call it 1 3/4. But I still feel it's a Mega Creeps game. And even then, with a Gyro Rapier, you may just be able to go straight for the throne if you get a 5-man wipe and VP are called out buyback. So they do want to play it a bit more cautiously here.
He picks up his Talisman Evasion. I would have almost preferred to see the second Rapier now. I was sort of somewhat just egging him on earlier, but at this point you've got an MKB on Weaver, and that's really the main physical damage coming your way. The Talisman's not going to offer a whole lot of survivability. You're almost better off going for a second Divine Rapier, but we'll see how it pans out for him. Aegis and Cheese, VP are going to have now. They've got Roshan coming down uncontested, and that's going to be probably Aegis on Weaver, Cheese on someone like the Darkseer. This means they can, like you say, play that Rat Dota, just go for the split push, and take these last Raxes on their own terms.
And Roshan, an easy snipe there. They'll give the Aegis to Illidan. The Cheese going to KSI. Now is a Shiva's Guard. A nice little pickup for him. The armor definitely useful versus Gyro. And I imagine they group at least 2 or 3 top lane and start sieging it and leave maybe 1 mid.
They really like to do this 4-1 split with the Weaver just sort of chipping away somewhere else. So they'll maybe do 4 mid with Weaver top, or they'll do like 4 top with Weaver elsewhere. But I think more than anything, they want Weaver being the one damaging buildings because he gets them fastest, so the other 4 heroes can distract in the mid lane, where there's more open space as well. But they could even just group as 5, having Aegis and Cheese on their side. Weaver has buyback money as well, so he has 3 lives. He can always time-lapse back into the fight after a buyback without having to TP in, so this is going to be tough to defend.
Infest Bomb again from Whatafaka. They just have not felt very effective so far. And a lot of it is Lifestealer does not have that much burst. There's no Hex on Whatafaka. There's just not too much they can do.
Yep, and even bottom lane where they've already Rax is being sort of pushed in and pressured here. Ping's coming out saying, hey, we've got to keep an eye on this as well. This is very, very difficult to defend.
Oh, Illidan is maybe thinking about a go here top lane, but he's taking too much flat cannon damage. He will be forced back. There was a Disruptor ultimate popped. Illidan will time-lapse out most of that damage. Looks like they wanted to make a go with Glimpse, but couldn't find a kill. They just back off.
Sart still poking around mid lane. I don't actually know if he even got his Dagon off on the Gyrocopter the last fight. And he got that
Blink, Coil, but a nice 4-step away by Jotum. This is a long way to chase. Manta's going for it. He gets songed. Is there going to be an Echo? Keep your eye on ars-art. Mr. ars-art is here. Who is he going to go on? Nobody yet. Now the kinetic field there. Mantis continues to give chase. He's out of BKB. He does still have Satanic. Echo, look for the Dagon, and he's gonna go down. I think he gets off the Satanic. Isn't enough. The Ghost Scepters keeping everyone alive. Gets zapped. Wall low. He's still fighting it out. He's so incredibly low. At long last, he goes down. The Rapier hits the
very
deck.
late Dagon. He had me scared. I thought that Satanic was going to save his life, but the Dagon came eventually.
That was closer than it needs to be. I won't say so close, but even if they win that fight, NEXT.kz still have a lot of work left to do, but close enough to give you a bit of a scare, for sure.
I start living life on the edge. I think more than anything, just forgetting he has a Dagon. Not every day you get a Dagon 2 and an Earthshaker.
Well, VP, they're not out of this group yet, gods. They have won this match, which means NEXT.kz are our first team eliminated from the Corsair Summer Cup, or Summer Tour, but ultimately, they still have more work to do. They've got to beat the loser of IC Cup and rox.kis, who will be playing tomorrow as our first match, and then that match between VP and the loser of that game will be our second match of the day.
Yeah, 2 of these 3 teams will advance the playoffs here in the Corsair Cup of Group A. For those of you interested in what the tournament is, it's $10,000 up for grabs, 16 teams from Europe and North America. The main page, gc.corsair.com, is sort of your portal for the website, and there's actually a chance to win a fully loaded gaming PC there thanks to Corsair, so be sure to enter the competition.
It's a pretty legit computer as well.
Yeah. I haven't seen the specs yet, but that's what I was reading from a bunch of people commenting like, wow, this is actually like a proper gaming PC.
Well, with that being said, guys, thank you all for tuning in. That is going to wrap up our final game of the day. We'll have a rebroadcast coming soon. Gods, take it away.
Yeah, guys, thanks everyone for tuning in. Be sure to check out myself, LD, on Twitter. I'm BTSGods on Twitter. He is twitter.com/LDDota. We'll be back tomorrow with the Dota 2 Super League third place decider, which is between the 2 losers, Orange and LGD China. The grand final will be next week, which is going to be the DK versus Tongfu Showdown. But the third place decider is tomorrow. Following that, we'll have more Corsair Cup. We'll also have some GEST Dota 2 action, guys. So thanks everyone for tuning in today. Be sure to also follow Beyond the Summit. We're Beyond the Summit on Twitter, Beyond the Summit TV on Facebook, and all these VODs will be uploaded soon on our YouTube, Beyond the Summit TV. But rebroadcast coming up soon, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Your next matches will be live tomorrow, and stay tuned if you're interested in that rebroadcast. See you guys.